Pyromancer Ascension is back and it has a new best friend, Cori-Steel Cutter. Let's go check out today's modern deck list. In front of you is modern Pyromancer Ascension Combo, and I looked at a lot of deck lists when constructing this one. So the last time that I played this deck, I had Strike It Rich and Pyretic Ritual effects. No more. We're not playing anything like that. The only thing that makes mana in this deck is Manamorphose. So the idea behind the deck and why the Manamorphose makes mana is that with Pyromancer Ascension, you would like to put cards to the graveyard. Okay, that's step one. Step 2, you play Pyromancer Ascension. Step 3, you play spells with the same name as the cards in the graveyard to add counters to Pyromancer Ascension. When Pyromancer Ascension has 2 counters, it copies all instant and sorceries. So when you play the Manamorphose, circling back to that, it copies itself and it goes up on mana. Those previous lists had Strike It Rich and Desperate Ritual effects to go up on mana so you could have a big combo turn. We're still able to do that, but you're less focused on one big combo turn. That's because of the new inclusion of Cori-Steel Cutter. So instead of having one giant turn, you could spread it off across a number of turns and make really large monks with prowess and trample. And Cori-Steel Cutter is kind of the perfect card to pair with Pyromancer Ascension because it doesn't care about enchant removal and it makes your opponents have to respect creatures a little bit. It doesn't use the graveyard. It still cares about a lot of spells being cast in a single turn. I think that these two were a match made in heaven. So that's what we're going to do today. And we are playing 4 copies of Noxious Revival. That's because you can go infinite with Manamorphose and Pyromancer Ascension when it's online. Okay, well that's pretty cool because you end up cycling a Manamorphose infinitely and that just works out well. Okay, but it's also really good against the format. The Esper Goryo's Vengeance deck is one of the top decks in the format, and Noxious Revival just happens to be main deck heat against that. That's pretty cool. In addition to that, it could put a fetch land back on top of your deck because we're only playing 18 lands. We have 16 regular lands and then 2 copies of Sink and a Stupor. So Noxious Revival can help smooth out some of your mana issues if you do have them, or if you Thought Scour yourself and then mill over Pyromancer Ascension, you could put that Pyromancer Ascension back on top of your deck. Or if your opponent plays Eternal Thoughtseize, guess what? I'm putting Pyromancer Ascension back on top of my deck with that Noxious Revival. So it has a lot of utility here. With the Thought Scour and Well Consider, you can mill over cards more quickly for the Pyromancer Ascension, but it also has some synergies with the main deck copies of Lava Dart. And Lava Dart works really well because in a lot of games with this Pyromancer Ascension combo deck, you're looking to cast multiple lightning bolts in a single turn to kill the opponent. If you're a damage or 2 short, Lava Dart finishes the job. And when you're running Thought Scour and Consider, you'll just put Lava Dart to the graveyard accidentally. And then that's a little bit of, creature removal or extra damage later. That's the idea behind that. But it's a pretty straightforward deck. I think it's going to be a lot of fun to play. It does resemble the Izzet Prowess deck that already exists in Modern, but this deck is a little bit more combo-y in my opinion. In the sideboard, we have some copies of Consigned to Memory. Those are for the mono blue Belcher decks of the format, but there's other utility there as well. You could bring it in against Eldrazi, for example. Spell Pierce versus Control, or that mono blue Belcher deck, or opposing combo. Murktide Region. If your opponent has a ton of removal for Pyromancer Ascension or Cori-Steel Cutter, make a big dragon. Switch up your game plan. Become a control deck. Fire Magic for the aggro decks of the format, or something like Boros Energy. Magus of the Moon. This is not an accident. I did not just put Magus into the Moon into the sideboard not realizing I could play Blood Moon. I put a lot of thought into this. Against the Amulet Titan, they're going to bring in Force of Vigor for Pyromancer Ascension or Cori-Steel Cutter. They already have Boseiju Who Endures in their main deck. They really struggle to beat Magus of the Moon. So I'm going to play Magus of the Moon instead and have a little bit more of a juke there. And then Meltdown for that ever so popular Izzet Affinity deck. So that's the deck. That's my deck tech. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any ideas on how to make it better, put those down below. But we're going to hop on into match number 1, and I will see you there. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. You can also show your support by becoming a member of this channel. You get sweet perks such as badges, emotes, early access to videos, exclusive members-only content, and access to our members Discord section. As you increase the tiers, there are other rewards such as shop discounts, cyborg guides, and even free donation decks. Click the join button down below to find out more. We also have other ways you can support us, like theepicstorm.com/shop or submitting a donation deck via theepicstorm.com/donation decks. That's enough for now. Let's play some Magic. Round number 1 with Modern Pyromancer Ascension Combo. Let's go. Not the way to start a league. We will mulligan. No lands. Okay, this one looks pretty good. We will keep, and I will get rid of the Cori-Steel Cutter. We'll play Thundering Falls, Surveil, put the Preordained to the graveyard, pass the turn. They play Flooded Strand, they fetch for a Steam Vents, okay. And it's the Affinity deck. Okay. They have 3 cards remaining. Emery Lurker of the Lock. Ooh, Portable Hole. I don't love that. Now I'm not allowed to play my Pyromancer Ascension here. They have 2 cards. I mean, I could Lava Dart and kill the Emery, but I'd be giving up everything to do so. Interesting spot. I think I'm going to just pass here. They played the Lava Spur Boots. Okay. And now a Cori-Steel Cutter. End step will fetch, grab the Thundering Falls, Surveil, bing. Alright, we found the Lightning Bolt, that was great. And I'm going to cycle the Manamorphose here, because I want to see if I can spike the land. We'll do blue-red, another Ascension. Let's play Consider, get rid of the Noxious Revival. And I did find a land. I'll play it untapped, and then let's kill the Emery Lurker of the Lock. Pass the turn. They play a land, they have 2 cards. Jeskai Ascendancy, wow, that's a spicy one. Alright, end step, we'll Thought Scour ourselves. Another Lightning Bolt, okay. Sink in a Stupor, not a bad one. We'll play the first Pyromancer Ascension. Pass the turn. They have 2 cards in their hand. Another Jeskai Ascendancy, okay. And then they play a Mishra's Bauble. This will create a Monk token. And I think I would like to kill the Monk here. It'll put a counter on the Pyromancer Ascension as well. And now they're going to use the Mishra's Bauble. They'll draw. Noxious Revival. So that is the second counter here. So I could go Noxious Revival and put like Manamorphose on top. And then sink in a Stupor and bounce 2 of their things next turn. Like I could bounce double Jeskai Ascendancy in my main phase if I wanted. Or I could be a little bit more patient here and just play the Pyromancer Ascension and pass. And then next turn I really go off. That's probably the move. I do risk dying, but I feel like that's unlikely to happen. But I could be wrong. You know what? I think it's just risky to play out the second Ascension. Like, I don't know if I gain a whole lot by doing so. So I'm going to just pass. Another Cori-Steel Cutter. We'll let this go. And now they play a Mishra's Bauble. Sure, so they'll get to create a couple monks here. And then they can equip one of the monks. I think I'm supposed to Noxious Revival. And then the question is, do you do Manamorphose or do you do like a Consider so that way you can sculpt or preordain? If I do another Noxious Revival, is that the loop with Manamorphose to win? I think it's actually like double Morphose 1 Noxious. I think that's the loop. Because if you do double Noxious, maybe you can still do it? I'm just not smart enough for this. But I draw Noxious, I cast it, I don't draw cards. Yeah, so I think it's double Morphose. So the question is preordain or something else. I'll do Manamorphose. I'll go to 15. So this triggers the Ascension. This will go to 2 counters. And now I'm going to... I guess I wait for them to go to combat. Doesn't matter. The Opal taps for mana, but the Mox Amber doesn't. So I can now sink in a Stupor. We'll bounce a Monk. Ascension will copy it. And we'll bounce the other monk. They use the Bauble, but they see the Manamorphose we put on top, so they knew about that. And now I'll cast the Manamorphose. This will end up making 2 mana. Red, red, and blue, blue. Let's play Pyromancer Ascension, and then preordain. This will put a counter on the new Ascension, and we get to copy it. So I'll say yes, yes. More Manamorphose would be ideal here. Get rid of the Cori-Steel Cutter and the Consider. The land. Expressive Iteration digs real deep. I think the downside of taking the Expressive Iteration here is that I wouldn't be able to win this turn. They're at 17. Another preordain would trigger the new Pyromancer, so I think that's actually just better. And then we'll play preordain, see if we can hit another Manamorphose. This will trigger the new Ascension, so now they'll both be copied. So yes, yes. The first preordain, both of these can go on the bottom. Another preordain, Lava Dart. So, I mean, I can make sure that I don't die to the monks, and then I can untap. That's not the worst. We'll keep the new Lava Dart, play the Scalding Tarn, and then do I just want to waste the red mana, or do I want to Lava Dart them for 3, which doesn't feel particularly strong. I guess if I need both, it gives me that option. So we'll target them. Death by 1,000 pings. We will now pass the turn. And they're going to just pass. Interesting. 2 cards in their hand. We'll fetch a Steam Vents. Ouch, I go to 12, and we'll Lava Dart them on the end step. All the triggers. Same targets. Lightning Bolt. That's just the game. We'll cast it. Target you. So this will deal them 9, and then Lava Dart kills them. We did it. We won a game. The first game, but, you know, I was a little nervous because I wasn't sure if this idea was good or not, but a game win is a game win. And now we'll flash back a Lava Dart and target them. I mean, our opponent's also playing a pretty spicy deck. Jeskai Ascendancy, you don't see that one every day. Sweet. Okay, so we probably want the Meltdowns here and the Spell Pierces. Lava Dart doesn't seem amazing, so we can probably get rid of those. I'm unsure what to cut here for the final card. It's in between Noxious Revival and the 4th Cori-Steel Cutter. I like Noxious Revival for getting my Ascensions online. So I think I might try 3 Cori-Steel Cutters. Might be a bad idea, but I've never played this deck before, and, you know, you gotta try ideas to make sure that they're bad. This seems like a hand of Magic the Gathering cards. So we do need to find land number 2, but it's a reasonable keep. Our opponent Mulligan played a Flooded Strand and just passed. We'll play our Island and Preordain. Spell Pierce and the land? Don't mind if I do. We will pass. They fetch with the Flooded Strand for a Thundering Falls. There's a Saga. Okay. We'll play Steam Vents. Ouch. Pass the turn. There's a Saga goes to the 2nd chapter. They play Mox Opal. And it looks like they missed their land here. We'll play Thought Scour targeting me. Spell Pierce Manamorphose. Okay. Let's play Consider. Get rid of the Noxious Revival. Sink into Stupor. Okay. Another Spell Pierce. Let's try Expressive Iteration. So we'll put Cori-Steel Cutter to our hand. Noxious Revival on the bottom. We can play Preordain this turn. Play the Scalding Tarn. And then the question is, do I want to give up my ability to Spell Pierce? I think I'm okay with it. Maybe that's crazy, but they missed their land drop. That's my thought process here. And the odds that they go like Jeskai Ascendancy kill you are pretty low. So, Preordain. I think I'm going to put both of these on the bottom. I just want either the Jeskai Ascendancy or like Meltdown. They repeal their own Mox Opal. Sure. I will get rid of Expressive Iteration. I don't think I need it here. And now Urza Saga goes to the 3rd chapter. They float a colorless for a Soul Guide Lantern. Okay. They take the Noxious Revival. They hit the land. They play out the Mox Opal. And they're going to just pass the turn. Interesting. We'll play Sink into Stupor as a land. Ouch. And Cori-Steel Cutter. We'll play Consider. This will trigger the Cori-Steel Cutter. And this is sort of the nice juke here, is we just don't care about the graveyard anymore. Get rid of the land. And now we'll go to combat. Swing. Pass the turn. They're going to cycle the Soul Guide Lantern. I love it. Urza Saga is back. They have 6 cards in their hand. So I could make another monk here by Lightning Bolt plus Noxious Revival. Is that something I want to do? So they would go to 14. We would make another monk. Untap. Morphos. I mean, it gets really close to lethal. Let me actually read Cori-Steel Cutter. Is it both players' turn or just your own? Okay, it's each turn. So I will Lightning Bolt them. My monk gets a little bit bigger. And then I was thinking about it. I don't think you're supposed to grab another Noxious Revival. I think you're supposed to grab like a Preordain. Because if for some reason they have Surgical Extraction in their deck, you don't get punished. So then Noxious Revival. We'll begin our turn with a Manamorphose. And then we'll do blue, play Preordain, trigger the Cori-Steel Cutter. I don't even need a graveyard. What are you talking about? Pyromancer Ascension. Is that something I even want to do here? I don't think so. Put it on the bottom. We ripped another Manamorphose. That's good. We'll play it. So I have 11 on the board currently. If I Spell Pierce this, that is lethal. Is that just greedy, though? Am I playing into, like, a trick? I'm going to just let the Manamorphose resolve. Our opponent is deep on the tank on this Manamorphose, so I feel like I made the right decision not spell piercing my own card. They also just might be upset that I'm down like 5 minutes on clock, but hey, I'm learning here. I'm playing a new deck. I play this deck like once a year, if that, so bear with me. Our opponent disconnected and then never came back. I don't know if they just realized they were dead and closed out of Magic Online, or if they were having issues, but we won the first match. I mean, I have lethal on the board, or close to lethal at least. And, you know, there's still 4 more matches. Hopefully we get 4 more wins. Moxfield.com is the easiest way to build a Magic deck online. They support over 30 formats, including Legacy and many other Eternal formats. There are so many options to view decks the way that you want, from text view to individual cards, mana value, and even card price. There's also light mode and dark mode. My personal favorite feature is card tags. This way you can sort cards by function. Moxfield supports collection tracking, Scryfall search, decklist feedback, and so much more. Follow me on moxfield.com so you can stay updated on all of my decks. For round number 2, let's do it again. On the play with Pyromancer Ascension Combo. Our opponent has revealed a Kaheera the Orphan Guard. No lands. Unfortunate. A lot of lands. Okay, so I think I'll keep and get rid of the mountain. We're likely facing a control deck here. Thundering Falls. Get rid of the Lava Dart. Pass the turn. Polluted Delta. We did not hit a 2 mana value card to put in play this turn, so we will pass either the Cori-Steel Cutter or Pyromancer Ascension. They fetch with Polluted Delta. For their own Thundering Falls, surveils away a Hallowed Fountain. Flooded Strand. We'll fetch. Grab the other copy of Thundering Falls. Get rid of the Manamorphose. And we'll consider. Burn the Lightning Bolt. Goes to the graveyard. We draw another. Another land. Alright, we'll play Scalding Tarn and pass. They play Meticulous Archive. We'll fetch with a Scalding Tarn. Grab another Steam Vents. Preordain. I'll fetch with a Scalding Tarn. Grab an island. Play the Preordain. I think I'm going to keep both of these. And then we'll pass. They play land number 4. I will try an Expressive Iteration. Thought Scour to hand. Island on the bottom. I can play Scalding Tarn this turn. Pass. A lot of lands. A lot. They have land number 5. We'll fetch. I feel like I am not favored at the moment. Another Lava Dart. We'll play Preordain. Believe I want both of these. And then we'll play the Steam Vents tapped. Pass the turn. They fetch with the Flooded Strand for a basic Plains. And a Brain Surge. Are you playing just Modern Miracles? Now they fetch with the Flooded Strand. I mean, they got the perfect Brainstorm there. A 3rd Surveil land, Meticulous Archive. Surveils away Terminus. They are playing Modern Miracles. How about that? 8 cards in their hand. Narset Parter of Veils. So I could let this one resolve and then try to Lightning Bolt it. I think that's probably the move. Interesting. They're not going to do that. Okay. We'll play Cori-Steel Cutter. And they have a Spell Snare. Pass the turn. They're activating the Narset. In response, we will Lightning Bolt. Narset happens. They find another. That is hurtful. In response, I will Manamorphose. We'll make blue, and sink into Stupor. They counterspell, so now the Narset will resolve. They find a 3rd Narset. Okay. We will play Expressive Iteration. Lightning Bolt to hand. Revival on the bottom. We can play Lightning Bolt this turn. Kill the Narset, and we'll pass. She's back. Back again. 5 cards in their hand. We'll try another Lightning Bolt here. Okay, so Narset. 3 Narsets down. They find an Orm's Chant. Ugh, another land. That's brutal. I don't even know if I guess I have the basic mountain. I have at least that. Another Brain Surge. Another fetching. They play Monumental Henge, which puts a historic card on top of their deck. I don't know if Planeswalkers count as historic. I guess I'll find out. Noxious Revival. We will pass. Oh, I guess I read this wrong. It looks at the top 5 for a historic card. And they missed on the Henge, I believe. And step will Noxious Revival on the Cori-Steel Cutter. I go to 13. They Brain Surge in my upkeep. Okay. Play the Cori-Steel Cutter. Thought Scour. Actually, do I want to do that? Lava Dart target you. And now we'll go to combat. Swing for 2. Our first point of chip damage is in. Tie ball game, 13-13. They Miracle Terminus, that's fine. I did think about Thought Scouring them, but I thought they were setting up the Monumental Henge. They fetch with Flooded Strand, the Fairy Time Raveler. I will Thought Scour them in response. Get another Cori-Steel Cutter. Spell Pierce the Teferi. This will create a monk. They pay. Okay. Prismatic Ending on the Cori-Steel Cutter. I don't love that. They plus the Teferi Time Raveler. They play a land. They still have Counterspell mana open. Redraw a Consider. Play another copy of Cori-Steel Cutter. Prowess triggers. Galvanic Discharge. I cannot respond here due to the Teferi Time Raveler. Thought Scour target them. Solitude. Let's play Consider. Trigger the Monk token. Keep the Preordain. Play Preordain. Get rid of the Noxious Revival. Keep Manamorphose. Play the Manamorphose. We'll do red-blue. And now we'll go to combat and kill the Teferi Time Raveler. Pass the turn. Another Teferi Time Raveler. I think I'm going to make another monk here. It might be a greedy play, but I don't think one monk is going to get the job done. So that's my line of thought. And then another Lava Dart. They bounce the Cori-Steel Cutter. And a Hardcast Lorien revealed. There's only 17 cards left in their deck. Orm's Chant. I knew about that. I have to pass the turn. They plus the Teferi Time Raveler. Jace the Mind Sculptor. They play an Ottawara Soaring City as a land. Isochron Scepter. Imprints and Orm's Chant. So they have the lock now. I think I'm going to just make them kill me. And some people get upset about this in the comment section. And I hear your complaints, but the reality is our opponent's choosing to play the slowest deck on the planet. And by forcing them to kill me, they will have to make different decisions in games 2 and 3 in order to play faster. So I know it's not great content to watch, and you think that like I'm abusing the clock, but the reality is the clock is a part of Magic Online. And if your opponent's going to play a deck like this, making them go through their stuff, well, that's actually going to kill me pretty quickly here. It does force them to make different decisions and to play a little bit more quickly, and it ends up mattering. So I'm going to make them, kill me here. Apparently they want a Fate Seal instead of just attacking me with their creature lands, which is wild. But they're allowed to do whatever they want. They put Kaheera to their hand, and now they play it. I've been Orm's Chanted. On the end step, they play Days and Doing. They plus their Teferi Time Raveler down to 14 minutes. Alright, now they're activating their lands, so this will be 5 damage coming in, I believe. So I'm at 8. Next turn, they could kill me with the Hall of the Storm Giants. They're going to Orm's Chant me in my upkeep off of the Isochron Scepter. Sure. Okay. Discard a Lava Dart. They plus their Teferi. They activate the Hall of the Storm Giants, and now they'll attack for lethal. They're 3 minutes behind me on clock, which is relevant. The question is, can I pull out a win? I think we probably want the Magus of the Moons, Spell Pierce, Murktide Regent. I don't know if we want Consign to Memory or not. The Lava Dart's pretty stinky. We probably don't want that here. Noxious Revival is card disadvantage. So the question is, does Consign to Memory have enough where it's worthwhile? I'm not sure if it does. It would counter a Solitude trigger, but I don't know if that's actually something I want. It would counter an Isochron Scepter, but I feel like by the time they play it, the game's usually locked up. I just took a peek at Goldfish. There's no targets for Consign to Memory outside of Subtlety and Solitude, and then the one Isochron Scepter. So would you rather have 2 Noxious Revival or like 2 Lava Darts? Lava Darts could kill Planeswalkers theoretically if they minus them, so I will try this. Alright, on the play. Sure, we'll keep. Play Thundering Falls. Surveil away the Lava Dart. Perfect. Pass the turn. They have Flooded Strand. I think I'm going to risk it here. I'm going to try to slam the Pyromancer Ascension. We'll grab a Steam Vents. Ouch. If they have Spell Snare or Spell Pierce, my feelings will be hurt, but I think this is the best chance I have to resolve this card. And it does resolve. So now we're looking to avoid a Prismatic Ending. They fetch with the Flooded Strand. They grab Meticulous Archive. Basic. We draw a Steam Vents, I'll play it. And let's Manamorphose. Celestial Purge, I will Spell Pierce. Manamorphose, blue-red, Manamorphose, yes, blue-red, play Preordain, I guess. We hit another Morphose, okay. We get rid of the land, keep the Manamorphose. Do I want to bolt them? Because if I bolt them, I could start next turn with Lightning Bolt, give me my second counter, and then Manamorphose. But it requires the Ascension to live. Alright, so We'll pass. A little bit of a risky line here. Land number 3. Am I going to be punished? I am. Okay. So they can bounce the Ascension. We'll play the Pyromancer Ascension again. And then Lightning Bolt to kill the Teferi. This will give it another counter. Yes. Pass the turn. Prismatic Ending. That's a lot of hate. Okay. Expressive Iteration. They counterspell. I will spell Pierce. They have 4 cards in their hand. Iteration. Wow, that's a lot of lands. Okay, so we'll play Arid Mesa and pass. They play a Watery Grave. Fetch with the Arid Mesa. They have 4 cards in their hand. We'll grab Thundering Falls, keep the Consider, and another Expressive Iteration. They Brain Surge in response. I did not have the Spell Pierce this time. I've already used 2 of them. Expressive Iteration. Looks like they found Spell Snare. Mystical Dispute. Okay. Play Consider, keep the Ascension. Fetch, grab an island, and Ascension. Pass the turn. Narset. Okay. Hurts. They find Days Undoing. Wow. There's only one of those. That hurt. Oh no! I think they got me. Alright. I'm willing to pick this one up. Alright, so we are now 1-1. Looking to make playing your favorite combo deck much easier? Look no further than the Epic Storm Mini Combo Pack, which is available at theepicstorm.com/shop for $15.99. This token combo pack comes with 84 double-sided tokens featuring classic Storm and Mana tokens with new inclusions such as our modern Ruby Storm package, but that's not all. Our token pack covers a variety of formats from Pauper to CDH with new tokens. Stop on by theepicstorm.com/shop and make an easy decision to elevate your combo game. Match number 3 on the draw. We've opened up a good hand, so we will keep. Our opponent with a first turn, Urza's Saga. Amulet of Vigor. Oh, this is not a matchup I wanted to play. Ugh, that's bad news, Bears. We'll play Steam Vents and pass. Things are not looking good for the home team. Saga goes to the second chapter. They're going to have double Amulet of Vigor on turn 3. Like, I am toast. They play a Rumble, Vexing Bauble, Crumbling Vestige. They chose Vexing Bauble. Sure. I don't have free spells in my deck. End step, I will consider. Get rid of the Cori-Steel Cutter. I mean, I could hold open Spell Pierce, or I could show them that we're an Ascension deck. Like, also, should I just accept that I've lost? I feel like showing them that I'm in an Ascension deck is a bad idea. But if they don't have it, it looks even worse. So I think I'm going to just play the Ascension and hate myself. I don't think there's really a good answer here. Saga goes to the third chapter. They grab a second copy of Amulet of Vigor. Here's the Gruul Turf. So this will make 4 mana. They have the colorless floating, so that's 6 mana total, which is exactly enough for a Primeval Titan. Boreal Grazer. So this will make 1 mana, so this brings them up. So if it's like a Summoner's Pact, I could have Spell Pierced and bought a turn hypothetically. But who knows if that's even true. Oh, I guess I miscounted my mana, so Spell Pierce never mattered. Green Sun Zenith for 6. Yep. And we are toast. They grab Mirror Pool and Lotus Field. So assuming that our opponent knows what they're doing, we are dead. Now they Mirror Pool. They transmute Teleria West for a Summoner's Pact that will be countered by their own Vexing Bauble unless they sacrifice it. They make another Primeval Titan. Okay, so they grab the Handweaver Battlements and another copy of Gruul Turf. So now they can give both of their Primeval Titans haste. And now they'll swing. They'll take 12. I feel like they had a line to kill me here. I mean, they probably still do, but we'll find out. Because I believe the loop with the Aftermath Analyst requires you to attack, but I could be wrong in that you could still use a Valakut Awakening kill. I grabbed another Mirror Pool and an Urza's Saga. Okay, I'm at 5. So they passed, but here's the thing. Even with a perfect draw, I don't think I can win this. We'll play Consider. This triggers the Ascension. Yes. Get rid of the Thundering Falls. Yeah, there's nothing I can do here to eat Titan. Okay, so we're going to want Spell Pierce, Consign to Memories, and Magus of the Moon. I don't know if you're supposed to bring in Meltdowns or not, but I do know that Lava Dart and Lightning Bolt stink, so we're going to take out as much of those as we can. And that's an even 60. So is there something we don't want in the deck that could be Meltdowns? I don't know if it's really, like, I think I want at least a couple copies of Meltdown. I don't know if we're really like an Expressive Iteration deck in this matchup, or you can try boarding down a couple copies of Cori-Steel Cutter. We'll do 1 Cutter, 1 Noxious Revival. Let's try this. On the play. I mean, I guess I could keep Amulet offline, but is it a good hand? We'll keep. Theme Vents, and we'll pass. Urza's Saga, and step will Thought Scour ourselves. 2 lands. I missed the land, drawing the land that is. So I think here I'm going to put Arid Mesa on top of my deck, and now I'll fetch. And the reason I chose Arid Mesa over Steam Vents is just like the ability to thin a little bit. I don't think I'm going to lose this game by 1 life. I'm not sure if I want either of these. Bottom the Spell Pierce for sure. I'm not confident about land 3. I think we can afford to get rid of that. And now we'll pass. Saga to the 2nd chapter. Gruul Turf. Interesting that they picked up the Saga. Another Preordain. We'll play the 1st. Bottom the Manamorphose. I think we'll keep Thundering Falls. Keep Expressive Iteration. Pass. They replay Urza's Saga. And Spelunking. Sure. Another Urza's Saga. So the Sagas are how they beat Blood Moon here. Because they did not get them down fast enough, or a moon down fast enough. Let's Expressive Iteration. On the stack. Consider to hand. Thought Scour, Thought Scour. So I missed my land this turn. I don't think I'm allowed to just, like, cast this and pray to hit. So I will pass the turn. So the Sagas will go to the 2nd chapters. And now they're going to play Lotus Field. That's interesting. They're floating 2 mana, and now they're going to sacrifice the Urza's Sagas. Okay. Interesting. Titan Resolves. Trigger. And I can consign to memory this. I don't know how we're going to get out of this, but there's still a game to be played, I guess. Spell Pierce, right on time. Alright, let's Preordain. Consign to memory. Like, I'm already at 13. Like, this Titan might kill me if I just try to, like, consign to memory everything. Consider. I needed to find Pyromancer Ascension a lot earlier. Play the land. We'll pass. Like, I do think this game was winnable if I had an early Pyromancer, but I just never found it. They have Urza's Cave. Ooh. Okay. I think we're dead. So I can let this one resolve and then maybe try to consign to memory the attack triggers. No, because I have to fetch. So I'm dead. Because it would put me to 1 if I couldn't. Like, if this was just an island, I go to 1. But because I have to fetch, it doesn't work. So we got smushed by Amulet Titan. And unfortunately, we're 1 and 2. If you're still watching, make sure to give this video a like, comment, and subscribe. While you're near the description, here's a reminder to use our affiliate links if you're going to make a purchase from Amazon, Card Hoarder, or TCG Player. Just above those affiliate links, you'll find our social channels. Make sure to join those to connect with us. Let's try to bounce back. It's the 4th match. We're on the play. This hand seems fine to me. I'm sorry, we're on the draw. My bad. They play Windswept Heath. I'll play the Thundering Falls. I could try to hold open the Spell Pierce, but against Windswept Heath, I'm not sure if that's a good idea. Love it. Ascension right on top of the deck, where it belongs. They use the Windswept Heath for a Hedge Maze. Is this Neoform? Misty Rainforest? Or a basic forest, so probably not Neoform. Well, actually, Coiling Oracle is the, there's like a, what is it called? Birthing Ritual deck. And sometimes I've seen Neoform in it, but it's pretty rare. So it's probably the Birthing Ritual strategy. We'll play the Ascension. Pass the turn. They play another Windswept Heath. And they grab another basic forest. Shardless Agent into Icefang Coatl. Okay. They have Flare of Denial in their deck, so they didn't have it on turn 2. We find another Ascension. I think I'm going to play the other Ascension and pass. Okay, it resolved. They thought about it, and then ultimately it did resolve. So I think they could have a counter spell. They play Hedge Maze, keeping a card on top. Another Coiling Oracle, or Force of Negation. And now they swing for 4. I will go to 12. We'll fetch with the Arid Mesa. I'm going to end up at 9 after I shock myself here. Ouch. Play Consider. Get rid of the 3rd Ascension. Noxious Revival. Don't need that right now. Another Sink into Stupor. We'll play Preordain. Lava Dart is interesting. Keep the Lava Dart. Keep the Preordain. So if I play Sink into Stupor as my land, I go to 6. I don't know if they could kill me from 6. Alright, so we'll play the land. I go to 6. Play the Preordain. This allows me to have Spell Pierce open, which is why I'm interested in it. Yes. Yes. Preordain. Don't think I want the Thought Scour. Eat the Lava Dart. And then I think we pass. They have 7 cards in their hand. They're going to combat. Inside of combat, let's Lava Dart the Icefang Coatl. I don't know if it matters. They hardcast Force of Negation. I will Spell Pierce. So this attack would put me to 2, and I still don't have my Ascensions online. So I could Flashback Lava Dart, which would leave me at 3, and then I could Noxious Revival Preordain back on top. We'll kill a Coiling Oracle here, sacrifice the Thundering Falls. So I end up at 3. They play Wooded Foothills, end step, Noxious Revival on the Preordain. Okay, I'm at 1. Preordain, trigger the Ascensions. So I have to get a little bit lucky here. I need a good Preordain. Manamorphose? That's what I would like to see. Oh, I don't think it's Expressive Iteration. I could keep Consider and hope to find Lava Dart or Lightning Bolt. I would be dead to a Dryad Arbor if they're playing it. Unless it's exactly Lava Dart. Keep the Consider. Cast it. Bunch of triggers. Yes. Yes. Always yes. Yield. Can't use Scalding Turn at 1. Can't use that either here. Get rid of the Steam Vents. There's a Lava Dart. Get rid of the Consider. Or do we want that? I think I'll get rid of it. Okay. Let's attempt a Lava Dart on the Shardless Agent. Same targets. You know, this can kill the Oracle. Okay. So I can play Sink in a Stupor as a land. Pass the turn. Did we stabilize? That's the question here. They grab a Breeding Pool. They play another. They're at 14. Harbinger of the Seas. So that would shut off my Lava Dart. And all my lands would be islands. And I don't have any cantrips. We might have just lost to the Harbinger. And now they bounce my Ascension. That's just mean. Okay. Things are not looking good. And we're dead. Ah, so close. I thought I turned the corner. That was a good game, though. Probably want Fire Magic. Maybe Spell Pierce. Get rid of the Noxious Revivals. We'll try this. Game number 2 on the play. I don't know about this one. Really need a land number 2. Suppose we'll try it. It's a little risky. I feel like every time you mulligan with this deck, it's very punishing. Because you are such a resource-intensive strategy. Pass. Misty Rainforest. End step, we'll Thought Scour ourselves. Mills over Steam Vents Preordain. We did not hit the land. You're an Ascension, which is good, but there's no second land here. There it is. Player land and pass. They grab a Hedge Maze and keeps the card on top. Coiling Oracle. I'm going to fetch and Lava Dart this so that way they can't Flare of Denial my Ascension next turn. And I could have fetched a Mountain in game 1. The issue with doing so is I never felt like I had a turn where it made sense because I had so many blue cards the whole time. Now Coiling Oracle reveals a snow-covered island. We'll play Pyromancer Ascension, the Endurance in response. Sure, you got it. Pass. 5 cards in their hand. They play a Hedge Maze. It's rid of a Birthing Ritual. That's surprising. Harbinger of the Seas. Another Ascension. I'm going to just Thought Scour here. It's a Lava Dart. Play my land. And let's play another Ascension. Pass. I'm risking getting blown out by Force of Vigor, but the upside is so high here. They play a land, they swing, 3 cards left. Thought Scour, target myself. This triggers the Ascensions. Do you have another Endurance? Is that what this pause is about? Is it consigned to memory, maybe? And we'll pass. End step, they sink in a stupor. I'd like to respond by killing the Harbinger. And now one of my Ascensions will be bounced. Coiling Oracle, sure. That trigger on the stack, let's Lava Dart and trigger the other Ascension. Also, Lava Dart now kills the Oracle. They reveal Flare of Denial. We will play Expressive Iteration, which is now copied, so I get 2 of them. We will put we'll put Fire Magic. None of these are particularly good. Fire Magic to hand. Cori-Steel Cutter on the bottom. We'll leave 1 Ascension in exile. Oh, that's brutal. Spell Pierce to hand. Expressive Iteration, Consider. And now we'll play a Consider. Digging for a land. Okay, well there's the land. That's beautiful. And now Consider. Keep the Lava Dart. Play the land. Pass the turn. We're in a great spot. They grab a Breeding Pool. And they just pass. They don't do anything. So we will fetch and go grab a Surveil land. Thundering Falls. Triggers. Keep Preordain. We'll play the Preordain. Theoretically, I do have Lethal right now, but we know that they have a Flare of Denial. I think I want the Arid Mesa. Force of Vigor. So they do have it. I'll Spell Pierce. I don't know why you would have waited till I cast my first spell, but that's fine. And then they concede. Alright, so we got there. I have to get another game. I'm going to just run it back. It's a hand that plays Magic. Really need the second land again, but we have Preordained to dig. In a pinch, we can Thought Scour. They have turn 1 Windswept Heath. And there's our second land. Beautiful. So we'll fetch with the Scalding Tarn. Grab a Steam Vents. And Preordain. Bottom the Thundering Falls. And I don't think I want the Sink into Stupor. We'll pass. I will try to grab the Mountain on our turn to avoid losing to Harbinger again. They put a card on top of their deck with the Hedge Maze. They play another. We draw another Thundering Falls, so a lot of lands here. We'll grab the basic Mountain, and let's try Cori-Steel Cutter. If it resolves, we will pass. Are they going to use a Force of Vigor on one Cori-Steel Cutter? They're thinking about it. That's exactly what this pause is. They do. Okay. They play land number 3. They fetch Shardless Agent, which hits a Fiddlethip. They draw a card. I'll play Island and pass the turn. I'm wondering if there's a good window to try to Fire Magic them so I can wipe their board, or if they'll extend more into it. They swing. Ouch. Birthing Ritual. I feel like I'm supposed to Fire Magic here, dealing 2 to each creature. They Flare of Denial, so it is countered, and now the Birthing Ritual will happen, and they find Endurance. Admittedly, a 3/4 is a little bit tough for this deck. There's an Ascension. We'll play it. Thundering Falls, keep the Lightning Bolt, and we'll pass. Actually, maybe I should have Surveilled it away. That was dumb. I don't know. Like, my thought was like, oh, we can use it, but maybe that's just foolish. Maybe I should have been caring more about the trigger on Pyromancer. Another Shardless Agent. Okay. It's another Birthing Ritual. We're in trouble here. Okay. An Oculus? Oh my. Oh my. That was the scariest thing they could have found here. Or double Oculus. Okay, so what does a winning game look like? I think I need that Lightning Bolt on top of the deck. So I think it involves me having a Fortunate Thought Scour. So I will Scour myself, which was not very good. It was double land. That was actually just terrible. And now I will consider, gets rid of Lava Dart. So if I go Lava Dart, trigger, Dart, trigger, I'm trying to think what I can do. So if I think I can kill both Oculuses. Or is that, wait, that might not be true. I think I'm actually short of killing both Oculus. No, I can. So now you flashback 1, sacrifice the Mountain. Or maybe I should have sacrificed the non-mountain. So now the Pyromancer is leveled up. And I can now Lightning Bolt and kill both. Yes. So then with the new one, I'll target the one that already has 2 damage on it. And then I have to Lava Dart the one after the Lightning Bolt resolves. So now I Lava Dart again. I guess I should have kept the basic mountain in case they hit me with another Harbinger here. That's my bad. I wasn't thinking far enough ahead. Boiling Oracle. It's another Oculus. They play a land. Yeah, sacrificing the mountain was just dumb. And now they swing. I'm at 6. Birthing Ritual. They flip over an Ice Fang Coatl. So they can find a Harbinger here, and they have 14 looks to do it. So there's a good chance that I lost myself this. Brazen Borrower. And there's the Harbinger. Yep. So dumb. Why did I do that? I feel like I lost myself this match. Like, I wasn't guaranteed to win, but I could have put myself in a winning position. Yeah, I just threw this. I'm sorry. This is no excuses. I just didn't play as well as I could have been. It's a little bit of an ugly league. We're now 1-3. The Gold Sabertooth times the Epic Storm collection has arrived with 3 full-size tokens showcasing the beloved Dark Ritual, CDH Rogsai, and Legacy of the Epic Storm for just $5. On the backs of these tokens, there's a place for my signature or a custom message. In addition to these sweet tokens, a friendly reminder that all orders that ship from theepicstorm.com also come with a signed Storm token from yours truly. The final match, we're on the draw. I will keep. And I'm going to be honest with you, I was very disappointed with the way the last round ended. I don't like making misplays like that. So I took a break. I'm recording now like an hour and a half later. I made some lunch, did some other stuff, but a little disappointed with my own play there, and I'll try to play better this match. Cori-Steel Cutter will play a Scalding Turn and pass. So they have an Eldrazi Temple. A turn 2 Thought-Knot Seer would be a concern hitting my Pyromancer Ascension. Let's see what they do. Glaring Fleshraker. Okay. We'll fetch. Do I want to turn 2 Cori-Steel Cutter, or do I want the Pyromancer Ascension? I think I want the Ascension. So, ouch. And then I'll Thought Scour, because if I was going to Steel Cutter, I would have Surveilled. But if I was going to play Ascension, I want 2 Thought Scour. Another land is not good. I'll fetch with the Arid Mesa. I'll go grab the Mountain. We'll play the Pyromancer Ascension. Pass. And now they play the Thought-Knot Seer. I wonder if they could have played it last turn. So this is a fast clock. I mean, They already have 6 power on the board. Glaring Flashraker represents more. I'm at 14. And me drawing lands is not good, because I'm actually really low on action. They take the Preordain, and now they attack for 2, I'll be at 12. I could be dead next turn. Manamorphose, that's a good draw. So I think we'll play Manamorphose, and we'll take red. I did not need another Ascension. Play the other Manamorphose will trigger, yes. Red-blue, Expressive Iteration. Preordain is not in the graveyard. That was exiled to the Thought-Knot Seer. So I could take Consider or Scour. So I think I'll put Consider to hand, Preordain on the bottom, Thought Scour in exile. Scour myself. This will trigger the Ascension. Yes. And then we'll mill 2 and draw, which is another land. Not good. So I could be dead here. Like the Kozilek's Command would kill me. Or something like a Reality Smasher kills me. So they'll attack for 6, I go to 6. And then Kozilek's Command is good enough. 6 mana. So the Kozilek's Command would make 5 Scions, and then any spell kills me. It just feels like this deck is like a turn too slow. Which is interesting because, like, I was playing Striker Rich previously to speed the deck up. But then when I was studying deck lists, everybody was not playing any mana. Like, Manamorphose was the only bit of mana that anyone played. So I don't know if that's correct, or if this deck just, like, isn't viable, or if you need to slow the game down even more. That's the other thing, is, like, instead of being a combo deck, try to just be a more controlling combo deck, so more interaction, but I'm already playing a ton, so I don't know if that's the issue. Okay, so we probably want Consign to Memory. Get rid of Spell Pierce, and a couple... Actually, let's board out 2 Noxious Revival. We'll try this. Like, I don't know how you become more controlling than we already are. So I think maybe Strike It Rich wasn't bad before, and maybe, you know, other people working on the deck might be off. Maybe I shouldn't have cut it. I'd be interested in your feedback on that for the next time I play this deck. We'll keep. They reveal a Devourer of Destiny, Thundering Falls, Surveil, keep the Consign to Memory, and we'll pass. Grove of the Burn Willows, and Blade of the Blood Chief. Okay. Play Steam Vents, ouch. Cori-Steel Cutter, and we'll pass. So I could have fetched the Noxious Revival. I don't know if I want to waste my resources like that. Basking Broodscale. Play the Arid Mesa, we'll fetch. Grab the Mountain. Lightning Bolt. Kill that Basking Broodscale. Blade of the Blood Chief triggers. I will play a Consider. Trigger on the Cori-Steel Cutter. I now have a Monk. Keep the Lightning Bolt. And we'll swing. Pass the turn. On their turn, I can Noxious Revival the Lightning Bolt or Consider back on top in order to... They're just going to concede. Okay, that's fine with me. Let's try it again. Good. We'll keep Forest. And Blade of the Blood Chief is back. Another Pyromancer Ascension is not what we wanted. We will pass. They have an Urza's Saga and a Rumble that resolves. They found their Basking Broodscale. So next turn, they can play Broodscale, equip. They have the Infinite Combo next turn. I will Thought Scour myself, build over another Ascension, play Steam Vents, ouch, and Preordain. Keep one of the Steam Vents. Or I guess this is a Scalding turn, but whatever. Pass. Urza's Saga goes to the second chapter. Glaring Fleshraker. I'll Consign to Memory. Play the Mountain, play Pyromancer Ascension, and we'll pass. Saga to the third chapter. So they could get Graveyard Hate here, but that's not the end of the world. They grab a Haywire Might. I have another Pyromancer. Uggin's Labyrinth. They equip the Blade of the Blood Chief to the Eldrazi spawn. And now they exile my Ascension. Okay. Soul Guide Lantern. Am I crazy if I let this resolve? I just don't think it matters. Like, I can beat... Like, I just need the Ascension to trigger twice. I don't need my whole graveyard. And now they swing. Ouch. I'll go to 15. They have 3 cards. Manamorphose. Not a bad one. Play the Pyromancer Ascension, and we'll pass. Nature's Claim. Ah, so they had double answer. That hurts a little bit more. And I boarded out my Spell Pierces, I believe. Yeah, I did. They play Urza's Saga, and the attack. So I think at this point, I'm really looking for a Cori-Steel Cutter. And step will fetch. I go to 18. Grab the Thundering Falls. Get rid of the Manamorphose. Consider. Keep Expressive Iteration. And we'll play it. Lightning Bolt to hand, Scalding Turn on the bottom, Consider to exile, and then we'll play the Consider. Keep the Consign to Memory. I'll play Steam Vents, ouch. And I think I would like to consign to memory the ability to create a construct. They draw a card using the Soul Guide Lantern. Interesting. So I want to stop them from making constructs because this game is currently in beatdown mode. They have 4 cards still in hand. They play an Eldrazi Temple. Okay, I'll take 1. I go to 15. Another land. I think I'm going to cycle the Manamorphose. Blue-red. Thought Scour. Let's target them. I've milled enough cards. I found Consider. I'll play my land. Pass the Consider. Keep the other Consider. And we'll pass. This looks like a really big Kozilek's command. We will consign to memory. They're drawing up to 3 cards, and they get to use Urza's Saga again here. So they get to search through their library for a 0 or 1 mana value artifact. They grab another Blade of the Blood Chief, Malevolent Rumble, Glaring Fleshraker, and Blade of the Blood Chief plus some lands. The Fleshraker resolves. They have 2 cards. They play Cavern of Souls. So I think we let this resolve. I go to 14. Glaring Fleshraker puts me to 13. And now Blade of the Blood Chief triggers. Now they put another Blade of the Blood Chief on the Eldrazi spawn. Sure. They have no cards in hand. So I have to figure out if I just like want to try to fight this Eldrazi spawn the fairway later, because like it's going to get very big because I need to kill the other 2. So I think I'm actually supposed to Lightning Bolt this here. And then the question is, am I supposed to kill the Basking Broodscale or Glaring Fleshraker on my turn? It's probably the Basking Broodscale. Alright, so in step we'll consider Cori-Steel Cutter. Is it the time for you? I kind of think it's not. They're at 22. I only have 2 Ascensions left, so is milling over this correct? They have so much life. It makes blockers. Maybe that's good enough. Another Cutter, so we'll play 1. Play 2. This will trigger the first one. And then Lightning Bolt the Basking Broodscale. Okay. And I'll swing for 3. I don't think I'm going to block, so we might as well attack. Expressive Iteration is by far my best draw. They equip to the Glaring Fleshraker. Looks like they drew a spell. Thought Not Seer, that's not good. Okay, now they can sacrifice the spawn, and this will turn the Glaring Fleshraker into a 4/4. I really needed them to draw land this turn. That was probably the only way I was going to win. So now I go to 7, and all of a sudden I'm on defense. Lava Dart's not going to be good enough. I will pass. They swing before blockers. I will Lava Dart the Thought Not Seer. Lava Dart Thought Not Seer. Sacrifice the mountain. And now go to blocks. Okay. Do you have anything? Sink in a Stupor. That's not a bad draw. Okay. They're saying there's a chance. Arid Mesa. And we'll get in there for 3. Pass the turn. I believe I still have the other Thundering Falls. Oh, that's tough. This is not a spell I want to return to their hand. Okay, so that's going to happen. And now they're going to equip it with Blade of the Blood Chief. We'll fetch, grab the Thundering Falls. Come on, Expressive Iteration. I don't think I'm allowed to keep consigned to memory here. I'm already playing defense. Another land, you're kidding me. Play the land. Pass. Looks like they drew Kozilek's command. No, Devourer of Destiny. All these creatures with triggers after I drew Sink in a Stupor. Yikes. I don't know what a winning game looks like from here. But I guess if I bounce this thing, it does allow me to draw a card, so we'll do that. Lightning Bolt. Expressive Iteration, okay. Can we claw our way back? Preordain, Lava Dart to exile. Preordain to exile. Play the Preordain. I don't think Lava Dart does it. So if I take the Lava Dart, I could theoretically block the 6/6. Lightning Bolt Lava Dart and trade? I think that's probably my only chance. And then we'll Preordain again. Am I supposed to bottom the Ascension here? Because if I play it, they're just going to exile it with their creature. I could hold it for a turn cycle, but I don't know if that's a good idea. Alright, I'm going to keep the Ascension. It might be a bad idea. Pass. Wait, hold on. If I swing, they're at 16. So Lightning Bolt would put them to 13. Lava Dart would put them to 12. Lava Dart would put them to 11. And then Dart would be 10. Dart would be 9. 2 damage short. Okay, we have to pass. So block, Lightning Bolt, and Lava Dart. So now they trade. And now they play Thief of Existence again. And now they're equipping with Blade of the Blood Chief. We're going to draw the Pyromancer Ascension. They get to swing and put me to 3, and then we're at the mercy of our top deck. We will play Pyromancer Ascension. So I can Lava Dart from hand to trigger it. Lava Dart from graveyard to trigger it. But that's only 3 damage total. So this thing has 4 toughness, so it would live through all of my lava darts. So I just have to pass here. No blocks. We have another Kozilek's command. That's going to do it. Yep. Ah, that's a bummer. If it allows me, I'd like to see my top card to see if we even stood a chance. Alright, can I draw? It's spinning, it might let me. Oh, wait a minute. Okay, it didn't let me see what my top card was. So we went 1-4, not the best record in the world. One of the losses might be my own fault. I'm willing to accept that. I could have played better. I made a silly error while playing quickly and it cost us. So, the deck. I think it was fine. I liked the Cori-Steel Cutter juke with Pyromancer Ascension. I was not in love with Sink into Stupor. It felt pretty clunky a lot of the time. I'm not sure if there's a different card I would play there. Thought Scour is like this... I'll be honest, I think Thought Scour stinks. But it's a card that fills up the graveyard quickly for Ascension. I wonder if this is actually something we want to play or not. Another thought is like, do you play Dragon's Rage Channeler? But now all of a sudden, creature removal that's like Lightning Bolt matters, where with the current build of the deck, spot removal does not matter. So you could play Dragon's Rage Channeler, or you could try to become more combo-y. And when you're doing the Pyromancer Ascension thing, having Strike It Rich to go up on mana, like a Manamorphose, is pretty interesting. Strike It Rich also allows you to go turn 1 Strike It Rich, turn to Ascension, and then try to fill up the graveyard after that, so that way you're a tiny bit faster. But I feel like that might be wishful thinking. There's also the reality that maybe Ascension just isn't good enough for Modern anymore. I hope that's not true because I like playing this deck roughly once a year, but today's video was a little bit ugly. So if you have any ideas on how to make it better other than me not sacrificing my basic mountain, let me know in the comment section down below. Thank you for watching. I really do appreciate it. I hope you have a wonderful day, and as always, keep storming. What you should do is like, comment, and subscribe because there's no better way to support us. And if you enjoyed this video, head over to moxfield.com and follow us there. It's truly the best deck website on the internet. We update all of our decks there regularly with the latest and greatest technology, so you're always up to date. Once again, go check out Moxfield, and thank you for watching.